Oh, what does choose to challenge mean for me? So in the workplace, choose to challenge, I think challenge is quite a strong word for some people and has connotations that mean that it's about conflict. But for me, it's very much about building relationships, the trust, respecting each other. And by doing that, we can actually then have an open dialogue. And I can share my insights that I gather from meeting people right across the organisation with different cultural backgrounds to be able to say, do you know what, have you seen a different perspective? Can I share something with you to get somebody to look at the other side? So choosing to challenge for me is about being respectful about our diverse culture and being able to share different insights. The barriers I've faced, I would say probably more from myself as opposed to external. I can give examples of where I've been in meetings at a senior level and I've probably been the only female in the room. I remember one incident where I was referred to she as though I wasn't in the room. But for me, that I would say that was more about the culture of the individuals that I was engaging with. And to overcome that, as I've said before, it's about that relationship and then building that respect and trust. Through the years, in terms of other barriers, I wouldn't say that I've had that many, because I just feel if you work hard, then you should be able to get to where you want to be. I think there's stereotypes in general. I wouldn't necessarily just say in HR. I work currently in the oil and gas industry, and you could say that predominantly it's very male dominated. In terms of stereotypes, I would say that in a caring profession, when you're dealing with people, you would potentially have more females. But I wouldn't necessarily say in HR. I've had male and female bosses. I've learned lots from both. So yeah, it's an interesting question to ask. But I wouldn't necessarily say that, yes, there is a stereotype. I say there's biases, and that's different. We all have biases. It's so important to lift each other up as women. I'm also a mum of two boys, and I think just giving positive reinforcement to people in general, encouragement. I think from a women's perspective though, in the workplace, where there's less women at a senior level, sometimes it can feel like you're competing against each other because you sort of stick out in the crowd. I don't think that is conscious, but we need to be mindful of that. So for me, I love to engage with my female counterparts and remind each other that, we're in this together, and, we need to be really supportive. To young women in this day and age, I would say, when you think about your brand, think about what is it that you want to project out into the world. What is your values? What is it that you can bring? For me, my lesson learned is that I have to be kind to myself. I need to really understand what it is that I want to achieve and be true to myself. So the message would be, to be kind, to be true, and everything else will follow.